Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This channel is all about option backtesting. If you like charts, tables of data, looking at past performance of option strats, you're in the right place. The chart, table, and graph just shown that's a teaser for what's coming in this episode. Here's me. I'm Daryl. Hi. I've been selling options for a few years now, and I love collecting premiums. But I've wondered if this stuff actually works. Can I expect to make money? Do I have an edge? Uh, in this bear market, selling covered calls and collecting some put premium has cushioned the not so great performance of my underlying stocks, but hasn't been a silver bullet. A lot depends on what stocks you pick for your underlyings and how you manage your options, but this channel really isn't about that. It's about backtesting once you've made those decisions or backtesting new strats you're considering. I've watched a lot of YouTubes on selling options. There's great stuff out there that lays out the how and the why, but not much on supporting the strategies with cold, hard data. Tasty Trade did some YouTubes on backtesting, and various other YouTubers I respect have mentioned it, but not covered it in depth. If they did touch on backtesting, it was always about backtesting an index, which is nice, but I prefer to sell options on stocks, not indices. I believe there must be some lucrative opportunities out there hiding in all this data of option quotes. So I'm going off the deep end in this channel, backtesting everything, mostly stocks and groups of stocks with similarities. Again, this channel is all about backtesting. You might be thinking, backtesting? What the heck is backtesting? Backtesting is seeing how well a strategy or model would have done in the past, hopefully in an unbiased way. It's measuring the performance in some time frame that we believe has similarities to now and the future. The thinking is that any strategy that worked well in the past is more likely to work well in the future, and any strategy that performed badly is more likely to continue to perform badly. Initially, I'll be keeping it simple because I think it's the best way to start this channel and because I haven't implemented advanced features yet. I'll only be showing backtesting results of selling puts, calls, and the wheel strat. The data has one end-of-day price quote for each option and underlying stock ETF index. Hourly quotes would be better, but enormous. Just the daily quotes works out to 80 gigabytes of compressed data from 2002 to 2022. Every option sold currently runs through expiration. There's no early exit strategy yet, but I'm working on it. I'll vary things like symbol, delta, days to expiration, more knobs in the future. If you're lost or have no clue what I'm talking about, go learn about selling options and come back. There's a ton of great YouTubes on the topic. Search on the wheel option strategy and selling options or buying options. It isn't super advanced rocket science, but you do need a basic 101 understanding of options. I'm assuming you know what I mean when I'm talking about selling calls and puts, the wheel strategy, delta, or the probability of getting assigned, days to expiration, and getting assigned. I won't be covering technical analysis, no automated trading, no trade recommendations. I will be covering in the future more strategies of backtesting like early exits, rolling, strangles, option buying, and hope to get an online version of this software up in the cloud fairly soon. Disclaimer, this is not trading advice. Results in the past do not assure future results. Don't go out and take any action on this. Just educational and informational. Past results are only one of many possible indicators. Okay, enough of me and enough of this intro stuff. So let's look at some backtests, some charts, some graphs, and some tables. Each backtest comes with a chart and a report containing some stats and all records charted. So if you don't believe the chart, we can run through the records and verify that it is accurate. There's also an aggregation feature to compare many different backtests. I'll do a future YouTube on that, and I'll tease that feature in a minute. If this is sounding interesting to you, please smash the like button and subscribe. I'm just getting started, so I need it. So let's look at this chart. Here's an overly verbose title. You can see in the title that we're doing it on Apple from January of this year, 2022, to July 31st, 2022. It's around DTE of about a month. We're doing naked calls in dense mode, and I'll explain that in a minute. The delta is 0.15, so there's a 15% chance we'll get assigned. And the delta can vary by 0.05. So let's move on to what we're actually seeing on the chart, all these line segments. Each line segment I call a leg. A blue leg represents selling an option. The length of the line segment on the x-axis is the time, or it's between 28 and 32 days. That's our DTEs. Change in the y-axis is the profit loss made on that leg. The real dollar value would be times 100 if you're selling one option contract. The next line segment moves forward on the x-axis, and there's dense mode and chain mode, and it'll move a different amount forward depending on the mode. Dense just moves 1 day forward, where chain moves all the way past your expiration date too. So you'll only have one option going at a time. So an orange leg represents the underlying stock, Apple, how Apple did over that time frame. It shows the profit loss of holding the underlying stock over the same time as the option contract. So each orange leg corresponds to one blue leg with the same X endpoints, and it will cover the exact same time as its corresponding blue segment. The pair of blue and orange segments will have different profit loss characteristics. The slopes will probably be different. It could be the same, unlikely. That's why the clusters of line segments follow different paths. As time moves forward, the blue and the yellow lines stay in sync on X, but vary potentially widely. They vary on Y. So the next leg on the y-axis starts at the cumulative sum of the profit loss for all previous legs of the same color. These back tests can be run in two modes, dense or chained, which I mentioned above. You're viewing what I call dense mode. Dense mode finds an option to sell matching the criteria, symbol delta DTE, computes and stores the results, then moves forward only 1 day from the date you sold it and looks again. You'll have many similar calls on the same underlying open at the same time. This is not how option traders typically trade, but it provides a deeper, richer view of how the strategy performs. Chained mode is closer to how most option sellers do it, except they typically have an exit strategy, which I haven't implemented yet. In chain mode, it moves forward a day beyond the expiration date, so it has a lot fewer trades than dense, and it will only have one option trade active at a time, where chain could have several. So that was a lot. I hope I haven't lost you. Let's take a step back, get out of the dirty details, and see if we can interpret this chart from a higher level. So this is a really tiny set of data. It's one symbol over just a few months, so it's ludicrous to try and draw any meaningful conclusions. But that won't stop me. I'm going to do it anyway. So you would have done great selling calls against Apple from January through mid-June. As you can see, the blue lines go up and up and up. Then really terrible from mid-June to July. So no great insights there. I mean, duh. But my thought is if we could find some exit strategy that would keep most of those gains and get rid of most of those big losses, it could be worth looking into, and it's definitely a topic for future videos. So finally, the last thing I'll show is the results of running several back tests varying the delta. This is still not nearly enough data to draw any conclusions, but it's a baby step in the right direction. So here's the summarized results of 9 back tests for Disney from 2000. Each one runs from 2012 to 2022, 10 years. I varied the delta from 0.10 to 0.50, going up 0.5 in each back test. I kept the days to expiration constant at about 31 days. The table above the graph you're looking at has more details than the graph. I've highlighted a couple of columns in the table, max loss and number of trades, just because I find them interesting. If we could figure out how to minimize those losses, might be a good thing to do. Um, I've charted the profit loss in the blue bars and the rising delta in the red line, and I've also highlighted the column headers up there. It's in chain mode, so you can see each backtest only did 104 trades. If we'd done this in dense mode, we'd probably have way more trades, like 15 to 20 times as many trades. So what can we gain from looking at this chart? We can see the really low deltas maybe did a little bit better, and there wasn't as much profit or loss. As your delta moves up, not surprisingly, your variance gets higher. Also, as your delta goes up, your max loss tends to go up too, but so does your max gain. But anyway, we can do much more interesting things in the future. So that's a wrap. Hope you found this interesting. We backtested naked calls for Apple over 7 recent months. I've shown you the results of a series of backtests for Disney. Hopefully this episode provides a base understanding of backtesting for future episodes, like a put episode, a wheel episode, an episode on closeout criteria. Then we can start poring over much larger series of data to see if we find anything interesting. Feel free to leave feature suggestions and comments. Feel free to request a backtest in the comments. If you do request a backtest, please provide the symbol, days to expiration, desired delta, and put call or wheel time frame. I can't promise you I'll do an in-depth, massive backtest for you, but I will do something. So more episodes are coming. They'll come quicker if I get some likes and subscribers. If this looks interesting, please smash that like button and subscribe. And thanks for watching till the end. Man, it is a lot of work making your first YouTube video.